in a correct sequence of movement and conditions of work performed on a part or a process. Process chart portrays the processes with the help of symbols and its better understanding and examination. Process chart symbols. Now, circle stands for operation, represents an action. The arrowhead represents a symbol for transport, means movement of an item. D symbol means delay, temporary halt in a process. Now, square symbol for inspection represents an act of checking. Inverted triangle for storage represents a stage when finished product or raw material awaits for an action. Circle with a arrow represents operation-cum-transportation, and square with the circle represents inspection-cum-operation. Now, explanation of these process charts. An operation means represented by a circle occurs when there is a change in physical or chemical characteristics of an object or material. Assembling and disassembling, making ready for the activity or putting away after another activity are also classified as operation. Example, turning a rod on a lathe, joining two components by welding comes under the operation represented by a symbol circle. Then for inspection we use a small square, occurs when an object is checked for either quality or quantity. Example, checking by counting, dimensional checks, visual inspection of building, and check a letter. See transportation occurs whenever there is any movement either of material or man. Example is movement of a material on a trolley and man is walking. Symbol delay is for delay, occurs when conditions do not permit the performance of the next activity immediately. Various delay occurs and interruptions are denoted by this method. Example, materials waiting near the machine for an operation, operator waiting for a tool near the tool curb. A storage occurs when an object is kept and protected against the unauthorized removal. Example, material in a store, a letter in a file. Next is flow process chart. It is detailed version of an outline process chart and it records all the activities and event. There are three types of flow process chart: man type, material type, and machine type. A flow process chart material type. A flow process chart material is a process chart setting out the sequence of flow of a product or a procedure by recording all the events under review in terms the material being processed using the appropriate symbol. For recording and analyzing a process chart, material is a very useful chart. It gives a very clear account of events. This chart is also useful medium for presenting new proposals to the management. Figure gives the example of flow process chart material. It is a biscuit baking process. This shows how the biscuit is baked in an oven. Flow process chart material type. Now, first symbol is for transportation. Mix put up into the molder. For the mix process, it will take 50 minutes. Then operation is molding of a biscuit. Then transportation, biscuit to oven. Then there is another operation for 13 minutes, baking of the biscuit. Then 13-minute transportation, biscuit to cooling trays. Then there is a delay for cooling, biscuit cools. Then biscuit goes for inspection line, means again transportation. Then finally we are having inspection with a square block. Now two-handed process chart. Two-handed process chart records the activities of left hand and right hand of an operator while he is doing the work. Once the activities have been recorded, they are examined with a view to eliminate wasteful, unnecessarily uneconomical and non-essential motions. Now, this is an example of two-handed process chart, nut and bolt assembly. Left hand symbol, right hand. Now, what will left hand do? Pick up the bolt. That means it is in operation. So, while picking the bolt, left hand is doing a work. So, we put a square symbol over there, and in the right hand it is ideal. So, we put a D in the right hand side. Similarly, left hand hold inverted triangle, right hand pick up the nut. So, it is doing some work. So, put a circle symbol there. So, with the help of these charts, we can say how much time the left hand remains ideal and how much time the right hand remains ideal, how much time it engaged in doing work. So, with the help of these, we can find out the efficient timing of both the hands. Multiple activity chart. Multiple activity chart records simultaneously the activity of all the workers and machines on a common time scale to show their interrelationships. There are 4 types of multiple activity charts: man machine chart, man multi machine chart, multi man chart, multi man machine chart. Now, here is an example of one man and one machine chart. On the left hand side, man, and on the right hand side we are having a machine. Here we use two symbols for working. Empty rectangle is used, and for ideal a filled rectangle is used. Now, for example, in case of men, see serial number 1. Description of activities is loading the working and setting the tools. Symbol is empty rectangle, means during that particular time, for say 4 minutes, he is loading the workpiece on the machines, means he is working, and during that 4 minutes, on the right hand side of this chart you can very well see the what is machine doing. It remains ideal. So, we will put a symbol of rectangle and filled it with black color. On the left hand side, number 2, serial number 2, the man remains ideal from time 0.4 to 1 minute. For the next 6 minutes, the machine is doing a job of turning. That means for that particular time, the man remains ideal. So, come to summary, we can visualize the ideal time in minutes for man and machine, the working time for man and machine, cycle time and percentage utilization of both. So, in this example, we see there is only 70% utilization of man and machines. Flow diagram and string diagrams. The process chart shows mainly the sequence and nature of activities. The information given regarding the movement involved is very little. The pattern of movement may have features like backtracking, congestions, long distances, etc. To record these features, the flow and string diagrams are used. Now, types of diagrams: flow diagram, string diagram, cycle graph, chronocyclograph. Flow diagram. A flow diagram is a drawing or a model substantially to scale, which shows the location of the various activities carried out and tube route followed by the workers, materials or equipment in their executions. The various activities on the diagrams are identified by their numbered symbols from the corresponding flow process chart, either men or material. The route followed are shown by joining the symbols in sequence by a line. Flow diagram. It is a diagram drawn to scale which shows relative positions of production machinery, jigs, fixtures, etc. Now here is a example of that. Now suppose the material starts from store. In store, material lying ideally, so we put a symbol of inverted triangle over there right at the bottom of a bigger rectangle. Here the material lying in a store. So from store it moves to machine B, where some operation has to be carried out. So we put a symbol of arrow which shows the direction of movement of material from store up to machine B, where some operation is to be done. Now after doing some operations on machine 2, the material or moves from B to station A, where some another operation is going on. So that is again we put a symbol arrow here and operation on the center A. From center A it moves to center C, where inspection is done. So we put a rectangle over there. Then finally we put D. D stands for delay. Here we can do delay means delay for transportation, delay for packaging, and then finally to the market. So this flow diagram shows the movement of material right from store to transportation and to market. There is another diagram which is known as string diagram. When there is too much movement involved, then a flow diagram may become incomprehensible. In such cases, the string diagram is used. The scale layout is fixed to a board and planes are driven into the board to mark the location of various activities and also at point where the direction of move changes. A thread is then wound around the pins following the various activities in sequence. The distance covered can be calculated by measuring the length of thread used. These diagrams are particularly useful when considering problems of plant layout and design. Proposed improvement can be effectively demonstrated, told to management and workers. Features like backtracking, excessive movement and congestions are clearly shown. Tips to take steps to improve the situation. String diagrams are particularly useful to study the movement of workers in circumstances like one man attending several machines, processes involving of workers from one place to another place, etc. So this is the example of string diagram from store to machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, machine 4, machine 5, machine 6 and finally out. All are connected with the help of a string. The travel chart. The string diagrams take rather a long time to construct, and when a great many movements along complex paths are involved, the diagram may end up looking like a forbidden maze of crisscrossing lines. When the movement patterns are complex, the travel chart is quicker and more manageable recording technique. A travel chart is a tabular record for presenting the quantitative data about the movement of workers, materials, equipment between any number of places over any given period of time. Now, scope of method study. Scope of method study is unlimited. It can be used in any situations where human activity is carried out. It is used in industries, offices, store, warehouses, hospitals, material handling, buildings and other construction, transportation, agriculture, and thanks.